Fast, efficient and affordable business-grade hosting solutions, domain registration, SSL certificates and more. We also monitor and provide website security and update services, website builds, email hosting amongst other sensational products. If you have a question about your web page or your presence on the internet in general, no job is too big or too small. Visit our website today, or better yet, contact us at blueoceanwebhosting.com.au and leave your website issues to us.
Big ones, little ones, fiddly ones, powerful ones. The ones for the car or the truck, caravan, boat, mobility scooter, solar system. In fact, for any kind of battery, go straight to Battery Central Ipswich. They'll even help you when you know what you need to power but have no idea what'll do the job. Battery Central Ipswich, 280 Brisbane Street, West Ipswich, in the yellow building. Expert advice, better batteries, best prices every day. That's Battery Central Ipswich.
Welcome to episode 781 of the Aussie Tech Heads. I'm Jason Oakley and this is Will Tompkinson. Hey, Will.
Hey, mate.
Bet they didn't think you were coming back again.
Are you sure that's who we are? Because it's been a while.
I'm not sure who I am at any time.
No, right?
I had surgery for four hernias.
One surgery per hernia, or did you get like a bulk discount?
2 and 2. There's one cut here where they fixed up 2 and one down under the belly button. They did another 2 down there.
Nice.
So I was out of commission for a while. I really wasn't up to sitting in front of a computer screen for a while. I sat at the head of my bed, very carefully leaning back against it, and just binge watched Archer again on Netflix, which I've already seen 3 times a whole lot, but it's something funny, and as long as there's nothing too funny to make you laugh too hard and you stump. Ah! The worst thing was the sneezing, though. If you ever have to sneeze, you're oh, son of a...
Sneeze or cough, yeah.
Yep.
So,
took it easy for a while.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. Yeah, it's just... well, we did have a show planned last week, but somebody can't tell the time.
Sorry about that.
I'm not sure. It was like 7:30. I said, "Hey, you want to do a show?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then it was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, I don't know what happened here. I just lost 2.5 hours somewhere. So
it's all that daylight saving stuff's confusing you.
Oh, that's playing havoc with me at the moment because I'm trying to order stock from different places, and then you got the problem of like some of the suppliers are overseas. Like one of our main suppliers is in China. But when Australia adopts daylight saving, their support centre switches to Australian daylight saving hours for Australian customers.
Oh.
So even though they're in... So you've got now... But it only works... Like, I'm not... It's so weird. It works from 9 to 5, but that's... China's time, like their 9 to 5, and our equivalent of whatever that is, like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to midnight or something. But then when Australia goes to daylight saving, even though they're still working on China time at 9 to 5, they push everything forward an hour. So it moves the time here, even though it doesn't change their time there. Oh, come on.
Confusing.
So now it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon before I can ring them or, message them and get a reply back. So, like, it's a message a day. Like, I must send them a message during the day when I get to work, replying from their answer that I got when I left work. There's not enough crossover time to get a conversation going on. So, that's been fun.
You need to be on, like, Galactic Standard Time like they had in Men in Black.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that.
Was it like 37-hour days?
Yeah, something like that.
You get used to it or you go crazy. I got my 364 magazine today.
Oh, nice.
The Last Ninja 2, that was a fantastic game. All the Last Ninja games were really good on the Commodore 64. Got some good articles and stuff. And I bought some hardware. Ta-da! VR headset. Quest.
Oh, I was going to say it was a scuba mask.
Looks like it. Meta Quest Pro. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Comes with a couple of controllers and a charging stand for all of that. And I've played all these games for out. People are like, oh, it only goes for like 2 hours from the battery. Well, you can plug it in like anything else.
Yeah.
When I was playing Poker Stars, Texas Hold'em Poker, because you're sitting down the whole time, I just had the charge cable come up the side and plug into it, and I played it for like 4 hours straight with no problems, and then played a couple other games where you're just sitting down to play them, and it was still plugged in, and at the end of the day of playing, it was like 8 or 10 hours I was playing stuff. The controllers were only down to about 70% battery, and the headset was still on 85. Could have kept going for hours longer.
Yeah, there was a guy I was watching, and when he does a lot of the stand-up stuff for long periods of time, he just has one of those power packs.
Yeah.
Just clips it onto his belt and has a cable running to that.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Works really well, and yeah, it's funny because for years everyone's saying you got to have foveated reading. You got to have foveated reading. For people who don't know, that's where this headset has cameras that monitor your eyes, so it sharpens the image exactly where your eyes are looking. Even if you look left, right, up, down, it matches that and puts the highest resolution right there. The outer edges, lower resolution, because you don't notice them because you're not focused there anyway.
Yeah.
And you get very high quality image, and the rest doesn't matter. And the image is really clear. You don't have God rays, you don't have screen door effect or anything. And people for years are like, we've got to have foveate. So they're like, okay, here's foveated rendering. Oh no, it's a stupid headset, cost too much, and it only goes for 3 hours, so I'm not going to buy it. Well, you don't have to. You still use the Quest 2, that works fine. You still get a bit of God rays and screen door and lower resolution. You don't have the foveated rendering, which I love. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Oh, the other one I was doing was fishing. There's a game called Bait, and you get a fishing line, you throw it out, and because it's got haptics motors in the controllers, when the fish gets on there, the controller goes bzz, 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 and it feels like there's a fish pulling on the line. And you're reeling it in, and it goes out a bit further, and you reel it in, it goes out a bit further. But I also did ultra wings, where you fly ultralight aircraft around these different islands and stuff, and they have fly through these hoops that appear in the screen. So you get right through the center through all of them, and you get a gold medal at the end of it. You go on to the next part, you take off, fly, land, all this sort of stuff. There's VR bowling, I think it's called Premium Bowling's the one I got. Actually feels like I'm doing real bowling, and since I've got these hernia op, I don't want to be carrying around a 16-pound bowling ball, which I absolutely loved bowling, but now I bought the game once for like $27, and I can bowl anytime, and you can change the different locations, invite your friends in if they've got a headset, and you can go bowling together, all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm really liking my MetaQuest Pro.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got the Rift.
Yep.
And
plus it looks nice. I mean, look at that. The lenses are this thick. The front of it's got this really nice design. And the Quest 2 and Quest 3 just look like bulky mess to me. I don't know.
Have they put a fan in them yet?
They don't need to. So what they did, they made what they call the XR2 Plus chip. And the Plus just means that they've got a heat sink on there, and they moved the chip aside a bit so there's more heat dissipation. Yeah. And so they didn't need to have a fan. They can run it at like 30-40% faster CPU on the same chip that they could do on the Quest. It's exactly the same chip, but because they moved it away and have more heat dissipation, they can run at a higher speed.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's that was the thing with the old ones. Like you wear them, and you can only wear them for half an hour, and they just get so stupid hot.
Yeah, well, that was my problem. I didn't have air conditioner. I've got it here now, but when I had the Rift, I didn't have air conditioning. So you're playing PokerStars in the middle of the day in summer. I've got a fan going flat out of my face.
And
It's
doesn't
like,
do
that's
anything
not
because
helping.
it doesn't.
That's not helping.
No, I don't know why they couldn't do it. I don't really understand why they couldn't just put ducts and ductwork in it, and
Yeah.
doesn't not like you can't mount a fan on the front. It's not going to affect the vision.
No, that's right.
Put a fan on the front and just have it duct around the sides or something,
Yeah, on those ones. These ones it would have been because you got the cameras on the front that let you have pass through. So
Right.
when I was doing PokerStars, I'm sitting down in my bedroom here, and I enable pass through. It draws the table in my room and the people's seats around in their avatars, so it looks like you're actually playing poker with people in your bedroom.
So it's AR. Nice.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. That wouldn't get confusing at all.
No. It's funny because there's a guy there and his dog kept on coming in. He's like, "What do you want? What do you want?" "Oh, you stupid dog. Off you go. Go off." The dog comes back. "What do you want, dog?"
Yeah, dear.
But you can
That's a
see
good
him
thing
through the pass through, so you can tell
The
when
good
the
thing
dog's doing something.
Good thing about AR, I suppose, as opposed to not, is at least you can keep an eye on your surroundings.
That's right, yeah. And this doesn't have full coverage for blocking out light and stuff. There's nothing at the bottom there. You can get a full face one if you want to pay an extra $50 US. An extra $50 US to block out that little bit down there.
It's for a
It's
bit of
got
vinyl
these
or
side blinkers. They're rubber and they've got strong magnets in them, and they just drop in like that, and that blocks out probably 80% of stuff, and you don't even notice anything down here. But the thing that I like about that is when I had the Rift and I get a text message or something, I have to lift the Rift up and try and
Yeah.
peer underneath it to see what a text is. But with these ones, I can just put the phone down here, answer a text, no problem. Plus you
Well, I
can
guess
set it up.
with pass-through anyway, you could technically just look straight through it as well.
It's not that clear, really.
Ah,
You'd
okay.
need very big lettering, big font to
Yeah.
be able to read it on pass through, because it's still only up nearly 720p, but not really,
Ah, okay.
between 480 and 720. So it's a bit blurry to read text messages through the pass through. But you can enable it in the headset to connect to your phone so that when text messages or Facebook messages come through, they can appear up the top of the screen. So you know someone's talking to you, and then you can just put it down here, type in an answer, and put the phone back down.
I think it's with that headset you can get you could get it with the Quest too. You can get scripted lenses.
Yeah.
For them. So
Well, I didn't need to for this. I had scripted lenses for the Rift that you've got, but my glasses fit in here. So I can leave my glasses on,
okay.
and there's enough gap in there to fit them in without scratching it or anything, whereas the other one, it was so close up to your face, it's pushing against it, and you can't fit glasses in there.
Yeah.
But this one,
Yeah, I
no
never
problem
understood
with
that. Like,
glasses.
I never understood why it had to be right up. I guess it's a focal thing,
Yeah,
but I never understood why it had to be right against your face. Like, just give it a couple inches.
yeah. That's what she said. Anyway,
No,
no.
not more than once anyway. So yeah, man, get some water. I don't know if you've got the water down where you are, but I know down south there's just water everywhere. Everyone's and it's slow water. Like, it's flooding over the next 4 weeks.
Still going through Lismore again.
No, Lismore missed a lot of. Well, some of it copped it, but most of it missed it. But heading down through Echuca and Bendigo and Swan Hill and all those places through there, they're all copping it right now.
Oh, all right.
The water's starting to come up. They reckon it's going to peak around now-ish.
Yep.
But it's going to take about 4 weeks to go back down. Like, it's just because it's so flat and open through there. It's just so slow moving water.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You know, it's come up over the last 2 weeks. It's
Yep.
going to take 4 weeks to go down.
Jeez.
So
We haven't had hardly any rain or anything around here. The waters came up a bit in the river, but it went back down again pretty quickly. And we've had hardly any problems.
we've had a lot of water here.
Yeah.
Not as much as some places, but certainly more than, I think we've already had our average summer rainfall or something.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't summer just start?
so yes. But yeah, no, it's been, the last few weeks has been time management.
Yep.
Poor.
Yeah. Too much stuff going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Should we do some news then?
Let's try that.
Alrighty. Online cloud storage platform Dropbox has revealed it suffered a data breach that saw hackers access internal code. In late September, GitHub accounts had been stolen by fake CircleCL employees, and now it seems that Dropbox also fell prey to the same attack. In a blog post, Dropbox said that GitHub drew its attention towards suspicious activities in its account in mid-October. After a more thorough investigation, Dropbox found that a threat actor pretending to be from CircleCL was the one accessing one of its GitHub accounts. While any perimeter breach is a potential disaster, Dropbox's announcement gives the impression that this was no more than a minor incident. At no point did this threat actor have access to the contents of anyone's Dropbox account, their password, or payment information. However, whoever was behind the attack managed to access some company code that contained API keys used by Dropbox developers. They also accessed identity data, including a few thousand names and email addresses belonging to Dropbox employees, current and past customers, sales leads, and vendors, out of a database of more than 700 million registered users. While we believe any risk to them is minimal, we have notified those affected, the company concluded. To prevent similar incidents from happening again, Dropbox says it will be accelerating its adoption of WebAuthn, an open standard that allows web servers to register and authenticate users using asymmetric cryptography instead of a password. For Dropbox, WebAuthn is currently the gold standard in multi-factor authentication. Everybody's getting hacked these days, Mr. T. What's going on?
It's not even that they're getting hacked. I keep saying it. The reason that everybody... So all these companies are implementing 2FA and all these web standards and everything that are making it more secure. Therefore, more people are being lazy because they're not responsible for their own data.
Yep.
And therefore, they're not putting as much effort into securing the data as they should be. And therefore, more data is getting stolen. So the problem isn't lack of security. The problem is lack of people... putting effort into securing their data because they think it's already secure because they've been given false hope.
Yeah.
And
it's not like you can't clone a phone SIM and get multi-factor authentication on your phone.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally YouTube videos to show you how to do it. Like, in Queensland today, they've, the Palaszczuk government is safeguarding Queensland driver's licenses, with the introduction of a new two-factor verification system. The two-factor system was scheduled to be introduced in 2023, but it's been expedited for the recent Optus data breach. So the verification takes place through the document verification service. Anyone who's applied for a bank account, home phone plan, knows the process of providing your license number to verify your identity. Now they'll need to provide a unique card number found on your driver's license as a second step to the verification. Similar to the CSV found on the back of your credit card because they never get stolen. No. And makes it more secure. So, but just to go one step further to make it even just a little bit more secure than a CCV, they didn't actually put on the back of the card. They decided to make it more secure. They'd put it on the front of the card next to your driver's license number.
Oh, super secure. They'll never find it there. We've beaten them.
all these licenses that companies photocopy for proof of identification won't have your verification number on it with your license number.
No.
Like, nothing about this makes sense.
No.
from end to end. The entire thing is flawed, yet they think it's a fantastic idea. We want to thank TMR staff for their hard work and customers who have been overwhelmingly patient. Unlike driver's license number, the card number will change every time you get a new driver's license card. Well, why don't you just change the driver's license number?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Nah, I don't know. Tell you what.
I highly recommend what I did. I'd read online. Join a website called Credit Savvy, which is run by the Commonwealth Bank. Download the app, and you can click on Secure My Account, and it sends a notification to Xperia and other credit companies to lock your credit. And it does it for 21 days each time, and then it notifies you your ban is expiring in 2 or 3 days or whatever. Click here to reban, and you can just keep doing that indefinitely. I think my current one's going for 2 or 3 months, but after my data being released in the Optus hack possibly, and also now definitely in the Medibank private hack, and all the other hacks that have been going on, or quote hacks unquote, with people leaving publicly servers on the public internet insecurely sitting there for people to just scan and find and download the data from, then you need something like that. So what that does is, if anyone applies for a new line of credit card, home loan, car loan, whatever, with your details, it'll contact them and they'll say, hey, this account's been banned for new credit stuff. We'll contact the owner via the methods that we've already got on record and say, hey, do you want this? And you'll say, no, that's not me applying for the line of credit. So they'll say, sorry, you're hacksaw or stolen the ID data, so you can't do it.
I've used Credit Savvy for years because it was where I first discovered my credit score, because they keep your credit score.
Yeah. It's good because before you have to send an email or a letter through the post saying, please tell me what my credit score is, and now you just load up the app and it tells you instantly.
And even more than that, every time you used to apply to get your credit score, it used to affect your credit rating.
Yeah.
Because it was a hit against your credit rating.
It's ridiculous.
So it doesn't now, but yeah.
And it keeps a historical graph so you can see where your score's going up and down over the months and years and stuff, which is handy to know. And what affected it, you can open up and say, you applied for credit on this day and Commonwealth Bank contacted us about this on this date, and you got a line of credit so you can buy a new car or something on this date, and it's all listed there.
Unfortunately, it only goes back 2 years. But my credit score's just done nothing but go up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I don't know how. But it's a good website just for tracking that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, as I said, they do that stuff with they can do 3 things. You can change your identity information. You can go in here and it tells you where to do that and how to go about it. Free monitoring your credit file, as you said, so that it automatically, even if you don't have your ban on there, it will still activate the monitoring, so that it's refreshed monthly. If they notice something weird, they'll pick it up.
Yep. And
then you can extend the ban. They've actually got it in place now. You can extend it for 12 months.
Nice. And it's free.
It used to be 21 days, but they've bumped it up for 12 months now.
Yeah, thank you, Medibank and Optus.
So, yeah. Luckily, I don't have accounts with either of them, so it doesn't matter. But
and the good thing is, anytime you do want to apply for a line of credit, you just go in the app and turn off the ban. It sends it out to Experian and everyone saying this dude wants to get line of credit, so take the ban off. Go do your application, gets approved, reban it. No problems. Control it all yourself.
Yep. Oh, I mean, and the only... Yeah, well, I can do that with my bank anyway. I can do the same thing through my bank app as well. A lot of bank apps have that feature built in as well. But yeah, I mean, all this is happening just because, like, even Xero now, which is the point of sale software we use at work, it's quite literally unusable at this point.
Yeah.
There's so much security tripping over itself that the app is actually unusable. You can't use the app. The web page one is still painful but functional.
Yep.
The app is literally broken to the point it's unusable. It just doesn't work.
God.
And it's not like you're not paying, $75 a month or something for the privilege of having the software.
Yeah.
It's garbage, and it's getting worse. Every update is just worse than the update before it.
Are they just like a default company now, and then they're just like, well, who are you going to go to? There's Xero or nobody.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you've got like Quicken Online or something, and MYOB Online, but Xero really, because if it wasn't for the accountants, I wouldn't use it.
Yep.
The accountants like it because they have remote login access to it, and they can just push through and grab all the information they need, so it's quick and easy for them.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be using it because it's garbage. Yep. Absolute garbage program. It's designed poorly, its rollout is horrible, its implementation is bad, its GUI is unusable.
And they keep changing shit.
They keep changing, yeah, and nothing about it is user friendly, but everybody's using it.
What can you do?
As I said, I'd much prefer to not use it, but it would cost me more for my accountants to do it manually with a different program than I paid. That cost me to use for Xero, including paying for Xero. So it's still a cheaper option, even though it's super painful. Like the last update they rolled out, you now can't have two customers with the same name. It won't let you do it. There's no possible way that two people in the world would have the same name, so it's clearly not a problem.
There's not that many John Smiths, are there?
Yeah, so, well, actually, it's worse than that. I have a family. I can't think of their surname off the top of my head, but like the father and the two sons and the mother and was it the father and the son and the
Holy Ghost
cousin, I think?
Oh.
And the mother and the daughter and like their other cousin all have the same name. Like the three girls and the three boys have the same name. So and they all regularly come in and buy batteries. And I used to just have them under two different names, but now I've got to literally have put their middle name in or something to distinguish these different names because it won't let me have the things with the same name.
We handily merged that for you.
And well, they did. That was the problem when they implemented this without telling anybody. They merged all the accounts that had the same name. And the only email that they kept and the only contact number they kept was the first name on the list. So all the other accounts with the same name that had their own details disappeared. And all the invoices got merged together.
Freaking hell.
So you've got no way of knowing who actually bought what and no way of contacting other people other than the first person who appeared on the list anyway.
And if they had this big fight and John Smith wasn't talking to John Smith too, or they had separate companies.
Well, they're separate people. Like you can, 3 or 4 people, separate customers, and they all had their own phone number. They all had their own email address, and they all purchased different products.
Yeah.
Well, now they've all got the same phone number and the same email address, and they've all bought. One guy's bought 5 different products. So it's so stupid.
Crazy. Australian internet providers have 3 months to add typical busy period upload speed information for fixed line broadband services to their websites. The ACCC has said that upload claims will need to appear prominently, at least on retail providers' websites, but not in all forms of marketing material. This was a concession to the industry, which had nearly universally opposed publishing upload speed data due to concerns mostly about cost, utility, and need. The ACCC said that most retail providers moderated their initial concerns about cost through additional consultation. The Commission, however, made some key concessions, limiting where upload speeds have to be mentioned in marketing, and also to allow speeds on fixed-line networks to be estimated if measuring them more accurately would be too complex or expensive. The standard estimate will appear as a speed claim that is 15% below the maximum upload speed in the product description. For example, for a retail product with maximum download upload speeds of 50-20 Mbps and 15% reduction on the 20 Mbps upload speed would be 17. The ACCC said, a 15% reduction is a conservative estimate based on the fixed line technology with the lowest upload speeds, fibre to the node. Retail providers will also need to disclose typical busy period upload speeds for fixed wireless services, but will have no longer to do so 6 months. So
Right. So we're getting back into the whole Optus speed scandal from 2010.
yeah,
Okay.
this time they have to tell you what the upload speed expected should be. Doesn't say what it definitely is. It's estimate, and even at 15% below, it's still an estimate, right?
That was peak speed, yeah?
Yeah.
Not average speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, who's peak?
Yeah, exactly.
User peak, traffic flow peak, transmission peak. Like, who's peak?
Yeah.
That can't possibly go wrong.
No. And they're still railing against it, so...
And at the same time, I didn't really read the story, but at the same time, Starlink's putting 1 terabyte a month caps before they start slowing you down now.
Ah.
And that's between like 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. or something.
Yep.
So their day cap, they call it, because 11 p.m.'s, well, I guess if you're in Alaska, it's day. But so
it's always day.
But so yeah, they wind the clock back. But I get it for satellite. Like, you do need some cap on satellite because your physical limitations on hardware.
Yep.
Yeah. But some of our people out there like Linux stories. So here's a little tidbit. An ugly hack within the Linux kernel that's been in mainline for over 3 years has been called out. Writes Phoenix's writer due to a buggy x.org server XF86 video mode setting DDX. The Linux kernel has been imposing different behaviors on whether a process starts with X, and in turn disable the atomic mode setting support. Linux security researcher and WireGuard creator Jim Donhield discovered the ugly code with the kernel and commented it on the kernel mailing list. The commit to this kernel with the X first character check was made back in September 2019. The good news is that since then, the user space back in 2019, the x86 video mode setting code went ahead and disabled atomic support by default. So technically, it's running an updated Xorg stack within the past 3 years. This kernel hack isn't necessarily necessary anymore since the user space is just then avoided the atomic API.
Yep.
So the atomic means basically the ability to update a value and not have any other observers able to see.
Yeah.
See you in the middle of changing the value. So basically, think of it as like putting dominoes out on a table, and someone else's job was to read the number you're giving them by adding up everything that's visible, and then you're removing or laying down new dominoes to make the next number. The person incorrectly assumed it was time to take the count, even though you're not done making it yet. And the updates, if the updates are atomic, then the viewer would be able to I can't
That's
think.
your bedtime, son.
Oh, it's so much use. If the updates were atomic, the viewer would be able to I can't say unable. It's not the big word. The viewer would be unable to see you in the middle of changing and would instead see the original set of blocks after some point. So basically, locking them so they don't see the processes as their own. They can only see when the process starts and the process finishes. They can't see what's going on in the middle. So basically, so by having an X, so basically X is the equivalent of Windows or Mac OS. Like, it's effectively the driving force behind the operating system.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the, I guess, the graphical interface, I guess you could call it.
Yep.
And ironically that as much as Linux has changed and evolved over the last 5 years, but in the last 20 years, I guess, probably even more really, since, X would be
ancient.
well, I'm aware of X going back to early 90s, so
Yep.
it's at least that old. It's probably older than that, but that's how I'm aware of it.
They keep hacking new features in
And
there.
X itself hasn't really changed. The Linux on both ends of the X have changed, but
Yeah.
you know,
Just get a new desktop manager on top of it.
yeah, it hasn't really changed. But the irony was this one of these hacks that did it basically streamlined the loading and unloading of X, and it kind of went unnoticed, and nobody really noticed it was doing it, even though it was making X faster. And at some point in the last couple of years, it's actually inadvertently been written into the code, effectively hard written into the code.
So it didn't matter.
So it didn't matter anyway. And so now there's a hack sitting there that's not actually doing anything because it's actually part of the mainstream code now.
We
So
should probably get rid of that.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's Linux. In all honesty, most of it started off as whatever now is a fundamental in-place program generally started off as a hack or a workaround anyway.
Yep.
So it's realistically, Linux is not much more than one giant hack anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Microsoft is releasing DirectStorage 1.1 this week, and the biggest new addition is GPU decompression for Windows PC games. GPU decompression is the next natural step in an industry-wide effort to improve game load times on modern PCs. Microsoft originally launched DirectStorage earlier this year, but developers have been calling out for GPU decompression support, and now it arrives with DirectStorage 1.1 this week. GPU decompression works by offloading the work needed to decompress assets in games to the graphics cards instead of the CPU. Right now, the game assets are typically compressed when they are packaged up for distribution and then decompressed once the game is played. The problem is most compression techniques are designed for CPUs, which aren't great for modern games that want to push for faster decompression rates with the latest PC hardware. Typically, decompression work is done on the CPU because compression formats have historically been optimized for CPUs only, explains Cassie Hof, a senior program manager at Microsoft. We're offering an alternative method in DirectStorage 1.1 by moving the decompression of those assets to the GPU instead, known as GPU decompression. We've seen the industry move to PCIe Gen 3 or Gen 4 NVMe storage devices in recent years, offering 7 gigabits per second of data bandwidth. This fast storage is great news for game developers wanting to speed up load times, and the advances in I/O technology can dramatically speed up load times in games using DirectStorage 1.1. Developers will now need to tweak their games to make use of DirectStorage 1.1, and the improvements could even see big changes inside games, where you would move from one world to another and or teleport between different parts of a map or world. Microsoft claims this can be as much as 3 times faster, freeing up the CPU to handle other game processors. NVIDIA has implemented its own RTX I/O in the current game-ready driver that takes advantage of DirectStorage 1.1. AMD is working with its software vendors to finalize its drivers, and Intel's latest Arc graphics driver includes its own optimizations for DirectStorage 1.1. All we need now is game support. DirectStorage has always promised blazingly fast load times that we're seeing on Xbox Series X consoles, but haven't seen many PC games adopt this technology yet. Perhaps GPU decompression will push game developers to really take advantage of DirectStorage. Forspoken was supposed to be the first big game with DirectStorage support, but the title got delayed to January 2023.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking about that the other night, even with something as, supposedly simple as Minecraft. Like, there's multiple minute load time differences.
Yeah.
From spinning disk to an SSD to an M2. Like, I think I was nearly 10 odd minutes initial loading on my spinning disk, and then it was, I can't remember what it was, 4.5 minutes or something on my M2.
Yeah.
Like,
I was asking on the MC Eternal, it's the mod pack we're running, on their Discord, and they were saying most people on average see 15 minutes to load up that mod pack.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think I could wait 15 minutes. I'm not that patient.
Mine's 9, that's bad enough, but I read through Reddit and Discord while I'm going.
I don't know. I don't really. I mean, mine's not. My system's not anything stupid. It's not a Threadripper or anything. It's just a high-end AMD. But yeah, mine loads in half the time yours does, and they're both loading off M2s.
Yeah. Maybe Linux is just written better for it.
Well, it's a Java program, so you wouldn't think it'd matter. I mean, an example of that is GTA 5.
Yep.
It almost seems like it has load time commands into the loading of it, because it doesn't seem to matter whether I load it off my spinning disk or off my M2 or even off my previous computer, but it wasn't as fast as this one. It really doesn't load that much different. There's only a few seconds difference.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's given a time frame to load in.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
See what DirectStorage does.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be backwards compatible though. The game still has to be optimized for it.
Yeah, they might be able to program that into the next Java Minecraft or something.
Yeah, I mean, something that you could rewrite easily enough, like Minecraft, you could do it. But a lot of these games that are already established, I can't see them.
No,
doing anything
already done.
Which
Not unless it's still in active development and sending out patches, and they could send out a DirectStorage patch.
I guess it depends if the code's simply able to be patched like that.
Yeah.
Or if it's half a game rewrite.
Yeah.
So, but you know who won't be able to rewrite their code is Meta.
Meta. I
Met
met her the other day.
Meta, I hardly knew her. They've just put off 11,000 staff.
Whoa, just before Christmas. Good timing, Meta. You're awesome.
About 13% of its current worldwide headcount.
Yikes.
The company reported its Q3 earnings with revenues down $4 billion to 20. They only made $27 billion in profit.
Ah, damn. Not that only that little amount, huh?
Yeah. Layoffs in the tech sector have been happening in the past few months. Layoffs of this scale is a sign of how tough things are looking, even for the most valuable companies. Meta has, up until now, conducted target hiring freezes, but not announced layoffs. But today, now, it's their first layoff they've had. They're also taking a number of additional steps to become a leaner and more efficient company by cutting discretionary spending and extending our hiring freeze through Q1. So
Meta got rid of 11,000 people before Christmas. Twitter got rid of like a third of their people just before Christmas.
In
fantastic guys.
In his defense, in Elon's defense, half of those people left of their own accord.
Yeah. And a lot aren't coming back, even though he's now said, can lots of you guys please come back? We made a mistake. They're like, nope.
So it's so it's been an interesting. I mean, they're right though when you say a company that large is putting staff off. You know that there's something going on in the economy.
Yep. I don't think either of us use Twitter that much anymore either. Anyway, do we? I pop on every now and then, flick through, and I'm going 15 minutes just scrolling through, and I see the same 50 posts over and over and over again without refreshing or clicking on anything. And it doesn't go back to the top. It's still scrolling through, but it just repeats the same tweets over and over. And I'm like, well,
I get that in Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
Every third post, you get the same post you just saw.
Yeah.
No, look, I think Twitter, it has its place, especially for, which I guess is what it was actually originally designed for, business to consumer. Yep. That's what it's sort of designed for. And if you think about it, TikTok really is the video version of Twitter. That's what Twitter actually could have been had they have thought about it.
Yeah, they had it with Vine, and now Elon says he would like to get Vine back.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's definitely some merit to what he wants to do.
I'm not paying $8 a month though.
That's only for verification.
Yeah.
And once again, given that it's technically, looking at it from a business standpoint, then $8 a month to be verified as a business is actually not a bad deal.
The problem is though, I could create an account on there and call myself NVIDIA Incorporated, pay $8 to get verified, and then put out all this stuff. There's people doing that currently. Some guy registered his name like Nintendo Incorporated US, and he's paying $8 a month, and he's like, hey, check out this new thing coming out from Nintendo next month. We can't wait for you guys to be a part of it. He's not anything to do with Nintendo, but he's verified, so people think he's an official account.
Yeah, look, obviously they've got to change that up a bit. But that's no different than, I mean, how many times have you seen verified Facebook profiles or verified YouTube accounts that are just trash?
Yeah.
Or
even unverified stuff. We're giving away a caravan this weekend. Share this with 100 friends and you'll go into the competition. I'm like,
I use Telegram for a lot of stuff because I have a lot of friends who use it. So I actually have a decent network on Telegram. But the amount of times I see Telegram links on YouTube posts saying, hey, congratulations, you've just won, message us on our Telegram. But so I just decided to follow one day just because I was curious to see where it went.
For the lols.
And it just takes you to the Telegram page, which for all intents and purposes looks like an SMS thread.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, so what's their end goal here? Like, are they going to try and hack my system? Are they going to try and install a spy? No. They just said, just send us your details so we can send you a thing. So it's literally just relying on the stupidity of people to give them their details.
Yeah, social engineering.
There's no nefarious websites. There's there's nothing that you actually go. If you click on the link, it's not the end of the world. Nothing's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
The only thing that happens is once you give them their details.
Yeah.
So the White House should be getting a free Tesla soon.
Hooray!
According to the details I just entered.
Lucky Biden, hey?
Let's see how their anti-spam filters work.
Newsflash, thanks for the donation for a new Tesla for the White House. President Biden's driving it around right now, and Will's like, son of a bitch, I thought that was a scam.
Yeah, typical. The only one I ever tried, and it's not a scam. So, but it's definitely yeah, I think, and once again, this comes back to I've got 2FA, so therefore I'm safe.
Yeah.
They can't possibly hack me, and if you think about it, you go back to the back at pre-internet and email days. I'm trying to remember what it was. You used to get mail, and it was like golden. I won't say golden casket, but that's actually the legit one. But they used to get those like hard paper, like almost like an envelope. You'd open them up and they had a congratulations, you've won. Just send us $25 and all your details to this address. And
yeah,
I can't remember who that was now. It's been that long since but it's the modern version of that. Like you're still going to get people.
Just used to do something like that.
Yeah, at least they were legit.
Yeah.
No, it was I want to say it was like a red envelope with like gold edging and gold lettering on it. It was like National
Did it
Lottos.
come from Willy Wonka?
It was like National Lottos or something. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was all official. Like you had to break the seal, and But
Poor seal, I feel sorry for him.
Get broken seals. Nothing worse than a broken seal. But yeah, it's the modern version of that. Like nothing's changed. I mean, there's just changed the way. And so obviously, I don't know how many people know, but Weird Al's the new movie's out.
Yes, it's awesome. I loved it.
I'm going to watch it on the weekend.
And what did Weird Al say if you can't get it in your country?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
there's
that.
a torrent of places you could probably download it.
Yeah.
Or if not, use a VPN, which stands for very probably no.
Yeah.
Did you see his trick though? You know how Elon was going on about parody accounts. So Weird Al said, "I can't believe it. They banned Daniel Radcliffe from Twitter for doing a parody of me." And then all these people contacted Weird Al, said, "Did they really ban him? Oh my God, that's terrible." It's like, do you people understand parody and comedy?
They're probably the same people who think that the Weird's a biography.
Yeah.
But here's the irony. And actually, there's a couple of really good interviews on how they explain the concept of the movie, but there is actually a lot of truth to that movie.
Yep.
And some of the things that are true are actually things that you wouldn't
believe.
Like you go, okay, this movie's clearly a parody because there's no way that could be true. And the funny thing is that actually is true. And you're like, huh. So what else is true?
I like his ending song over the credits is basically, well, you saw it on TV, so it has to be true.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be true.
Well, I mean, and so many people have watched it and not realised that Weird Al's in the first scene of the movie. They don't recognise it's him. So, you know, and there's a heap of cameos in it.
Oh, so many.
It's loaded with cameos. I've watched a few snippets.
Patton Oswalt was hilarious as this drunken loud
and
mafia suck.
They were saying that the guy who played Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
They're like, legit, this guy's been practicing his entire life just in case Weird Al rang him up one day and goes, "Hey, can you do Pee Wee Herman for us?" Because like, it's the best impersonation anyone's ever seen.
And Jack Black's in there.
Yeah.
And the guy from Queen, he calls himself, you know, I've played the bass in Queen. Oh, okay.
But like, I'll give you an example. Like, everybody knows about the thing with the Russian mafia.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is true that actually I didn't know, I knew just about all the other ones, but this one I found interesting. He only started playing accordion because in his hometown, accordion door-to-door salesman came around. And he bought one because he was bored and thought, "Hey, that sounds like a good idea."
And that's what he does in the movie.
Yeah, like that's actually a thing that actually happened, like legit, and a door-to-door accordion salesman. Like,
I don't see many of them around my town. How about
they're not
you?
a very common thing. But I thought, okay, I knew about the recording his first album where he did, and there's a lot of stuff in the movie I was aware of, but I didn't know about that one. I'm like, okay, that's not the first thing when you hear, "Oh, I bought something from a door-to-door salesman." Accordion is not the first thing that comes to mind.
Vacuum cleaner, maybe.
And encyclopedias.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe that needs to come back. Maybe there needs to be an influx of accordion door-to-door salesmen.
I thought you were going to say encyclopedia for all the lack of intelligence we see around the world these days.
What is that? I don't think half the people even know how to use an encyclopedia these days.
They probably couldn't spell it.
Well, you don't need to spell it to use it, thankfully.
Yeah. I used it. It props up the corner of my table where it was a bit wobbly.
You could always use your dictionary to look up how to spell encyclopedia.
Yeah, there you go. If you need another word for it, get your thesaurus.
A thesaurus?
Yeah.
Isn't that a dinosaur that's got a sore thumb?
I think so. Well, that's about it for me. Have you got any more stories?
I was going to say quickly, Prime Minister of Greece has announced that they're going to ban the sale of spyware after his government was accused in the news report of targeting dozens of prominent politicians, journalists and businessmen for surveillance. The judicial authorities began an investigation. So the Greek government said the right wiretap was legal but never specified the reason for it. And they said it was done without their knowledge. The government, well, they usually are. The government has insisted that it does not know or use the predator spyware and has insisted that simultaneous targeting of wiretap and predator was a coincidence. So the Prime Minister went, "No, fine, screw it. It's banned now. Now what are you going to do?"
Buy it from another country where it's not banned?
Well, that's what I don't understand. They haven't banned the use of it.
Yeah.
Or they haven't banned the purchasing of it.
No.
They've just banned the sale of it.
So anybody in their country who is making spyware and selling it can't do it anymore. But are they just saying only the people in the country can't buy the spyware from other people in their country? Or
They're
can
not
the
saying
guys
that.
who
They're
make
saying
spyware can sell
Yeah.
it outside the country, but not in?
No, the ban of sale of spyware is banned in
Okay.
Greece. So you can no doesn't matter who makes it anywhere in the world. You can't purchase it if you live in Greece.
Ah,
But it's like it's like, well, but hang on. There's plenty of free stuff that I don't have to buy.
yeah. Or they could give it to their friend Will, who will buy it and send it to them.
Yeah, I don't have to buy it to have it. And that's the thing, it's not illegal to have
No,
or to use. It's
Yeah.
only illegal to buy.
I only smoked once, but I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's like okay, let's go with that then, shall we?
Good luck with it.
I was going to say that the technical transcript for it is, we will make forbidden all illegal malicious softwares which can be sold in Greece.
There you go.
Which
Problem solved.
that
It's like, you know what? I just saw a news article there was saying in, I think what country it was, said that Cloudflare's 1.1.1.1 DNS provider service has to ban 3 torrent sites by law. So that'll stop all torrents, right? If you ban all.
because there hasn't been a single copycat site from Pirate Bay.
No.
There's no possible way you can access that any other way except
They
typing
listed the
Pirate Bay.
3 sites that must be banned by Cloudflare because those 3 were banned for every other ISP in their country. It's like, okay, well,
Because that's the job of Cloudflare to monitor
yeah.
torrent websites.
What about Google's 8.8.8.8? They didn't say anything about that. Or maybe there's another torrent site in
But if
existence somewhere in the world besides those 3.
If you search for torrents on Google, you'll never find one.
Right.
Search for mirrors, you'll find plenty of them.
I don't want to buy a mirror though. I want to get a torrent.
I tell you what, when mirrors come out, that was very confusing.
Yeah.
Because they screwed up again, using the wrong terminology for the wrong product. Because a mirror of a site is a copy of a site, a duplicate copy on a different host.
Yep.
But a torrent mirror is completely different. It's in a completely different way of getting a different file. It's not even the same torrent file that you're originally trying to get. It's nothing. It's not a. It's nothing to do. It's like the same physical file. Like it ends up being the same movie or program or whatever. But it's not the same. If you click on the torrent file next to it, you don't get that file.
Nah.
It's a different file because it's an entirely different search list it uses. It's like, who decided that was a good name for things? Oh dear.
Thanks for listening to the Aussie Tech Head Show. We can be found at Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Email us, Will or Warlock, at aussietechheads.com.au, and we'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Bye.
Bye.